addressing the congregation of Cardinal.
As we celebrate this morning, I invite you to recognize the marvels that the Lord has done.
Oops, I did that wrong. Okay. Sorry, I did that wrong. I was messing up what people were listening to on the radio.
It means go.
Green means go. Got it. Okay. Good morning and welcome to the WSJM Morning Show. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me on this Friday, May 9th, is Bret Witkowski, filling in for Mike Weibel, who has been traipsing around the world. He's finally going to come back on Monday.
Good for him.
Yes. And so Bret has graciously agreed to help fill in. And so thank you.
You're welcome.
It's good to have you back here, even though you're wearing your caution shirt today. Is this your road construction shirt? What is that?
This is my Benton Harbor Tiger shirt.
Oh, okay.
I have I told you I have SJM shirts in the color of all 5 schools that we cover.
Oh, okay.
So if I do a game, that's Benton Harbor.
So you're in short sleeves today and you have a shirt rotation.
Yeah.
Do we see short sleeves in the wintertime? Are they in the rotation in the winter?
For coaches show, yes.
For coaches show, you have short sleeves?
These, yeah.
Why do you do shorts? Oh, for the sports thing.
Yeah.
Well, you're dedicated. Do you wear a long sleeve shirt under them when it gets cold?
No, I suck it up. I take one. I don't bring out my Mr. Rogers sweater.
Thanks for joining. Hey now.
Not in my neighborhood.
Wouldn't you be my neighbor?
I kind of am already, aren't I? We live.
You're pretty close.
Yeah, I don't have any.
You're on the fancy side of town.
It wasn't when we bought there.
Really?
Mm-mm.
Really?
No.
Wow.
No, it was not.
It's nice.
It is definitely picked up.
What I like about that area also, where you live, is there are areas. I drove down a road earlier maybe this year, maybe it was late last year. I drove down a road I had never been down before, and is very close to where you live. And it was like I had discovered a whole new world, because it went down and kind of into a ravine, and then it came back out, and there were just big, thick growth, old growth all along. It was, as you come down, what's the street right by Corwell and Napier?
Oh, Langley?
Yeah, Langley. Thank you. So as you're coming down Langley, if you turn earlier than the big left turn to go to the dog park there.
Oh, right.
If you turn, left.
Yeah.
If you turn left.
Like Michigan Avenue.
One of those. I can't remember, but there was one with that dipped down into a ravine, had big old growth trees in there. Just beautiful. It was like you're in a whole different community, because you were nowhere near the lake. You couldn't see anything.
Right.
It's like being in a nice little mountainous region.
Yeah.
It was very nice.
Yeah, St. Joe's a nice area, but yeah, when we moved to there, it was okay. There was a lot of for St. Joe issues, I guess.
Yeah. Okay.
But city commission, the staff, and the police took care of them, and little by little, that element moved on to some other community.
Oh.
And then people came in and bought and invested and turned like 3-unit apartments into a house, and the house next to us was a 2-unit apartment that became a home.
What's your view on property taxes? How are they doing for City of St. Joe?
Well, I mean, they're high.
Yeah.
But most cities are higher.
Yeah.
Than townships, because they do provide more services.
Right.
Like we don't have a trash. Ours includes trash and things like that. And street cleaning. Versus other cities, St. Joe is average.
Okay.
And looking around the area and looking around the state, they're at their average. They're not high. They're not low.
I've been monitoring the other local news, and somebody down in South Bend has a bee in their bonnet for one of their communities, because they have been just going after some property tax issues down there. And frankly, a lot of communities have had that problem where the price of housing has just gone up and up and up, and it's been stubborn and won't come back down. And when somebody sells in a neighborhood, that goes into the whole calculation of how your property taxes go. All right, hold that thought.
Yeah, because
hold that thought, because we have to get to news. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Any type of credit, get up to $5,000, and cash can hit our bank account as soon as tomorrow.
When you need extra cash, go to 27cash.com. That's 27cash.com. 27cash.com.
WSJM News now. Team coverage from the WSJM newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
Poor Bret.
Go back to work.
If you're missing the video live stream, you're missing a lot because we started at 7 o'clock each morning and we got onto the topic already in the first 5 minutes of the show talking about property taxes. And Bret had a very profound thought he wanted to share.
I don't remember.
And he started, and I said, hold that thought. Apparently, I'm speaking a foreign language because he did not hold his thought and started talking. And because we have to get ready for the news, I couldn't even hear him. I just did. I saw his lips moving and noise was coming out, but I couldn't figure it. All right, fine. And then we'll come back and talk about it. Okay, remember your thought. Don't forget it. Okay,
fair enough.
Because I love talking about people that have bees in their bonnets. Okay, it's 7:06. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. Here with me is Bret Witkowski, filling in for Mike Weibel, who's been traipsing around the world. We've got 35 degrees in partly cloudy skies in Benton Harbor, 37 in St. Joseph, 35 in South Haven. Dowagiac is reporting 34 degrees with mostly sunny skies. It's beautiful sunshine out there.
It looks pretty out the window.
Gorgeous. And this is what we're going to have this weekend. Mostly sunny skies. The temperature today inland, a little cooler by the lake, will be around 67 degrees. Probably what did your thing say, in the upper 50s?
53.
Upper 50s?
53.
I bet it gets to the upper 50s. We'll talk about it. Tonight's forecast, clear skies, a low around 40 with some light winds out of the north. Saturday's forecast, mostly sunny, a high around 72, and some southwest to northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Sunday's forecast, mostly sunny again, a high around 76. Monday's forecast, again, mostly sunny, high around 80. Love this. This is great. For tomorrow's the parade in St. Joseph and Benton Harbor.
It'll be a beautiful day for the parade.
Blossom.
I'm glad they moved it back a week a number of years ago.
Just for the weather?
Yeah, it just seems
factors
to be that 1 week makes a difference in May.
Yeah, so there you go. That starts at 1 o'clock tomorrow. Know that traffic restrictions will go into effect starting around 10 a.m. And you also have to, if you're laying out your blankets or your chairs, same thing as ever. Don't do it before 6 a.m.
Correct.
After
they will become ownership of the City of St. Joe.
City of St. Joe. Yeah. Do they have a public auction every year? Blankets, blankets and chairs.
Like lost and found at school.
Exactly. They should have a silent auction for the chairs. Okay. Let's talk about the news. From the WSJM newsroom, some of the news that we're covering today. Congressman Tim Walberg has welcomed home a Michigan man who had been detained in Tunisia for about a year and a half, accused. Oh, come on. Turn that off.
I did that last night.
Yeah, turn that off. Congressman Tim Walberg has welcomed home a Michigan man who had been detained in Tunisia for about a year and a half, accused of being a spy. Walberg's office says Robert Vieira was doing missionary work in Tunisia when he was detained. The office worked with the Trump administration to secure Vieira's release, and it was finally secured on April 13th. Vieira paid a visit to Walberg's office this week to give thanks and to him and his caseworkers for working on his behalf. He says he's by far relieved, very relieved to be back in Michigan with his family again.
Good for him.
Yeah, I saw a photo of it, and he looked like he was in good condition. But
how long had he?
That's got to be tough. About a year and a half.
That'd be long.
Yeah, accused of being a spy. I can't imagine they treat you very well when you're detained in one of those countries on those kinds of charges.
Sometimes you hear pretty brutal things.
Other news, Berrien County could be looking at some big expenses when it comes to upgrading its juvenile detention center. Speaking to colleagues on Thursday, Commissioner Jim Curran said the administration committee this week received an update from their consultants and learned exactly what kind of work needs to be done at that facility.
Electrical is going to be upgraded. The HVAC system is going to be upgraded. And he noted that the HVAC system is original from 1973. So the upgrade will be very well received. The plumbing needs to be upgraded, and the fire protection system needs to be upgraded and expanded.
Curran said the fire system needs to be brought in line with modern standards, and that is going to be costly.
$5.3 million is total on that project. All the work is out to bid right now, and he said the bid should be back sometime the first part of June.
Commissioner Julie Werfel wondered if other options have been explored, suggesting the facility isn't full enough to justify that high cost. She asked if perhaps more juveniles could be housed out of county or if another facility could be purchased and repurposed into a juvenile center. County Administrator Brian Doucette said he's been working to get those answers, and commissioners will have them, he says, well before they're asked to make any financial decisions about the juvenile center. That's a lot. That's a big
that's a lot of money.
Over $5 million.
I mean, we used to so when I was on the board and chair, we did look at having juveniles go out of county.
Yeah, how was that received?
It was very expensive, both private and public. I thought we rented some of the beds out to other counties too, when they would get overfilled.
Oh, yeah.
As a way to offset costs.
Different way to bring in the revenue.
Yeah, I mean, if you have empty beds, I mean, you have, it's not like you send staff home. You got to have staff to run it. So.
Absolutely. Why don't you just, if you don't have extra juveniles coming in from other counties, why not just turn it into a bed and breakfast?
Not that location.
Okay, fine. No. Other news, students at Pawpaw High School are preparing to take part in the painting of a mural near the building's entryway to spread the message about mental health. The project is the brainchild of art teacher Sarah Bentley, who tells us during this Mental Health Awareness Month, the month of May, she wanted to find ways to engage students and get them talking about the issue creatively. She says the students have been receptive.
In the fall, my son lost his life with his mental health struggle, and I know that in our community, I'm not the only one who's been affected by this issue. So we found an amazing artist to create something that's really special and meaningful for our students.
Detroit-based muralist Marlo Broughton, also known as Marlo Bro, has been hired to help create the new mural. English teacher Sean Kubik tells us it'll be a combination of Marlo Bro's design and ideas from the students.
It's going to be a landscape incorporating, our mascot, the wolves, but also a lot of students in there, like depictions of various students that could be our students. And then what I have is a bunch of really great writing from students, and that's going to be intertwined.
They say the goal is to create a positive, inspiring message that not only welcomes students, but also sparks real conversations about mental health struggles, something Bentley says everyone in the community understands. The artist has already done some preliminary work on the mural. Students are going to do their part next week. Bentley says everything is scheduled to be complete by next Tuesday, and meanwhile, donations are being collected to help pay for the artwork. We have a link for more information, and if you want to donate, the link is at our website. It's at WSJM.com. And finally, the Benton Township Fire Department is getting some new equipment following action this week by the Township Board of Trustees. Speaking to the board at its regular meeting, Fire Chief Robert Harper said his department needs to replace 23 nozzles and 40 hoses because they're old, basically. They're very old. He said the equipment has been falling apart.
We lost 2 nozzles over the past week, 2 weeks. Not lost them, but they broke. And we can't get parts for them. Actually, we had to take 2 nozzles off our ladder truck to put on the engine.
Can you imagine if you?
Yeah, and that's not your Ace Hardware nozzle.
No, no.
Those are the
high pressure
True Value because they advertise.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. But no, I mean, if you think about it, I mean, if those nozzles are falling apart and they're responding to an emergency, I mean, you got to.
And the hose.
Oh. Yeah, Harper said over time, old equipment has become obsolete, making it harder for the fire department to face what they call the hotter fires that new technology is creating.
With the fires nowadays, with the plastics and everything, they're just burning hotter and faster. And even if our nozzles were in good shape, we couldn't combat these fires with what we currently have.
Harper said the department cannot afford to replace all the equipment at once, which is why it's slowly buying new equipment every year. He said it's all about playing catch up, so something is always being replaced. Trustees agreed to the equipment purchase at a cost of $36,000. The current nozzles and hoses used by the department are 20 years old.
That's old. I would not use a 20-year-old hose and water my grass. I think the one I got feels like it, though.
And he has a point about the hotter fires.
That is true. Electronics.
I mean, you think about the LiPo batteries that you even have in your race cars, the lithium batteries you have in your Teslas and everything else. I mean, you got some fire challenges there.
Very good point.
Yeah. All right.
They have a good fire department too.
And now they're going to have new hoses.
Yeah.
So and new nozzles. That'll be good.
One of the few full-time fire departments.
Very good for a township. All right, it's 7:14. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. What are you doing over there? Is that your breakfast coming up? Do you have breakfast already?
Nothing.
Oh, okay. All right.
Starving.
Okay. Oh, you need some food.
I do.
I'll get you a Coke Zero if you want. Let's do sports.
I still have a little bit left over from you.
We have to get back on the video live stream, but we're going to do sports right now. Bret Witkowski filling in for Dave Wolf.
With sports, this is Bret Witkowski. Phil.
You like sports.
I do. I really do.
You're all about the sports. Thanks for filling in for Dave Wolf. I appreciate it.
I started out as a teaching major.
Oh.
Because I wanted to be a coach and teacher.
Yeah.
And then
what'd you teach?
I did nothing. I wanted to do history.
What'd you teach? Nothing.
I
taught no one.
No, I started as a
you started out with
college.
A major. Okay. But you never no. Became a teacher.
No, because they had a meeting. They called a meeting. Everybody who was in the teaching wanted to go into the teaching segment of the college at Ball State. And they're like, listen, there's such a glut of teachers. Chances of you guys getting jobs are not very, very good. So if you have other interests.
You're kidding.
No. I mean,
how it's turned.
Oh, exactly.
Now you can't find teachers.
Nope. So
someone was telling me that they're quitting mid-year sometimes now.
Oh, I've seen it. Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
So I'm talked to my dad and mom, and they're like, well, what's the other interest? And it was business. I mean, I understand that. Kind of knew that more. And so I ended up switching.
Oh, so you got a business major?
Yeah, finance and insurance.
Oh, okay. Fire.
Yeah. The insurance I didn't really like. The finance I loved. But
you know what fire is, right?
No.
Financial, insurance, real estate. I think that's what it is.
Okay.
Finance, insurance, real estate.
But no, I really wanted to be a high school teacher. I really wanted to be a college coach. That was my ultimate goal.
So when I was at that point when I should have been making a decision, I wasn't really focused on it. And I took the aptitude test, like the career aptitude.
Correct.
And I think the result was auto mechanic.
Yeah. I can't see that, but okay.
What are you talking about? I am very mechanically inclined.
Right.
I built.
You got pretty soft hands there.
I built an entire engine for my 1966 VW van. I built the entire engine from scratch.
Well, our 1948 orange truck's coming to you then.
I would love to work on it. I would love, but I built it. I mean, I put the crankcase together. I put everything, the engine block together. By the way, speaking of cars and stuff like that, Bill says, good morning. Good morning, Bill. He says, tomorrow's the first race at Goblet.
You mean Goebbels?
Yeah, Goebbels. What does he say? At the M40 RC Raceway, which is where I met Bill in person. I mean, because he's been a fan of the show for a while. But I went out to the raceway there. Stephanie and I did. And it's a great raceway. It's a lot of fun.
Right?
No, it's outdoor.
For little cars?
Yeah, little cars.
Outdoors.
A dirt track. Oh, it's
Seriously?
beautiful. Absolutely. And it's a kick in the pants. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think I told you they had an indoor track in M139 one time, and I went to watch that 30 years ago, and that was fun.
Yeah.
A lot of wee.
Yeah.
A lot of like pigs.
Say it again. What do they do?
Wee. Like the pig out the window.
Because they're in Goblet. That's what they do.
That's the French version.
The French version of Goebbels.
Van Buren County.
Yeah. 7:18. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Thanks for joining us. Do well in the race tomorrow, Bill.
You should provide us details.
Yeah, give us details on Monday how it goes. But if you want to go out there and watch, I mean, if it's the same as last year, you don't have to pay anything to get it to watch. You just walk up. Yeah, just walk up and watch, and stay out of the way. Because they've got
a lot of people,
cars and hoses. I mean, there's a good amount of people there, enthusiasts. All right, we'll be right back. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
Mostly sunny skies today. Winds will stay light as well out of the northeast, and high temperatures will be in the middle 60s. Clear skies tonight would drop all the way down to 40 for the overnight low. And then for Saturday, mostly sunny skies. We'll see high temperatures away from Lake Michigan in the low 70s. Right along the lakeshore will be in the upper 50s. We'll be back up into the 70s on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
Temperature outside right now, looking at 37 degrees in St. Joseph, 36 in South Haven. In Benton Harbor, it's 35 degrees. Dowagiac, 35. So we're warming back up. So it looks like we're done with the frost advisory as far as temperatures go, but it's in effect until 10 o'clock this morning.
Good.
Yep. Don't need the frost.
I'll be mowing about that time.
You're going to mow today?
Got to get the yard looking good for blossom time.
Yeah,
We're
definitely.
Right on the route.
Definitely. Okay.
Where they set up at.
Oh, where they do the staging.
Yeah, so on Court Street, and north or south of Park Street is the bands. They drop off at Hoyt Street.
Yep.
And the bands go up Court, and then they come out on Park and merge with the floats that are on State Street. And then in front of us, it's at the county building. There'll be staging areas for the convertibles for the parents and Miss Blossom time and mayors.
You ever try to sneak your orange vehicle into the race?
No,
or into the parade?
No, I haven't.
You should.
They don't allow advertising.
No,
which I think is great.
Just pull in. You know a lot of the political VIPs in town.
That's true.
Just ask them if you can squeeze the van in.
We've used my father-in-law's convertibles over the years.
Well, there you go.
He had a Triumph.
Oh,
that was used in a parade for numerous years.
Really?
Yeah.
And it was a convertible?
Yeah.
Huh. You're talking about the British?
Yeah, Triumph TR4.
Yeah. Oh.
So my father-in-law, him and I think a couple friends actually had an import car dealership.
Get out.
I think it was part-time. My mother-in-law can correct me. Where like Sonic and Dunkin' Donuts was like right around that.
Oh. Okay.
And then I remember him telling me when the Mustang came out, that kind of killed it. Because you could go down and buy a Ford Mustang like now, where to order a TR or Triumph, you had to order it and wait a number of weeks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, no, it was really, and he loved it. He kept it up till when he couldn't drive anymore.
Yeah.
And then Amy, I think they sold it to a guy in Wisconsin.
Okay.
He had grown up with it. And
does the story go on much longer?
It should.
Okay.
Because it's a really good story. It was a really cool car. I love driving
it. Really is a good story.
I love driving it. It was fun.
Oh, he let you drive it?
Yeah.
Did he know you were driving it?
Oh, yeah. My father-in-law and I got along great.
Oh, okay. Did you ever like air it out? Just like, see how fast it could go? Uh-oh.
Yeah, well, kind of he had bought a Pontiac Vibe and couldn't drive anymore.
Right.
And so I took him. My mother-in-law asked me to take him to the Stevensville Lions Club Park.
Okay. All right.
And so I went to pick him up, and I'm like, you want to get on a 94? Because he used to race the Triumphs.
Okay.
And we got like 80 or 90. And he's like, if I lose my hearing aids, Carol's going to be so mad.
Because you're going so fast.
Yeah,
that's funny.
Yeah.
That's really funny. We were talking about the parade, and that's how Brett got us sidetracked talking about Triumph cars from Great Britain. But the parade is tomorrow. And let's see, there's some traffic restrictions. So the parade starts at 1 o'clock tomorrow. The road closures in St. Joseph will start at 10 a.m. The St. Joseph Department of Public Safety says traffic entering St. Joe from the north will be detoured west onto Port Street and then south onto Lake Boulevard. Traffic wishing to continue south on M63 will turn east on to Jones Street or continue on Lake Boulevard to the business loop. Traffic coming from the south into St. Joseph will do the same thing except in the reverse direction. The detours will stay in effect until the end of the parade, estimated to be around 3:30 tomorrow afternoon. Parking will not be allowed along several streets near the parade route Saturday morning. That includes the staging areas that Brett was just talking about.
Are they going to charge?
Including portions of State Street, Market, Pearl, Price, Jones, Court, Church, and Hoyt Streets, because they're doing all the staging there. So no parking. People are also advised that the Bicentennial Bridge will be closed from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. tomorrow. And again, the police remind that blankets and chairs to hold your spot for the parade route will not be allowed in St. Joe on the parade route until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning.
You know who used to ride with us a lot was Ronald McDonald.
Oh, really?
He was hilarious.
Oh,
he had some great one-liners. He was, and I'd say it was his full-time job.
Oh, doing parade stuff?
Yeah, go to schools, but he was his full-time job. And he goes, yeah, my kids thought it was cool till they got to high school. And it's like, what's your dad do? Well, he's Ronald McDonald.
He's Ronald McDonald.
Yeah, he was fun to have on that backwards Bob. He actually locked himself out of his car once, and we had a cookout. So I think him and the kids came over until he got unlocked.
Okay. On that note, other things that are happening. We've been talking a lot in recent weeks about how messed up air traffic is.
What the?
Yeah, really? I mean, it's been something. I mean, we started with a plane and a helicopter crashing together at Washington National Airport, Reagan National Airport. And so it really put the spotlight on, well, what in the world's happening with our air traffic safety? And now, fast forward a few months, we're getting new plans from the Transportation Secretary for a new air traffic control system. Plans for a new air traffic control system were announced yesterday by Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy. They're saying that they've got out-of-date ATC systems, air traffic control systems, and the air traffic controller shortage. The people who are operating the systems, monitoring the systems, keeping the planes from going into each other, they've got a shortage of those workers. The Transportation Department said in a statement that the current air traffic control system is antiquated and said the new state-of-the-art system will improve safety and cut back on delays. Changes include swapping out old telecommunications for new fiber, wireless, and satellite technologies, installing new modern hardware and software, replacing 618 old radars, and building 6 new air traffic control centers and replacing towers.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
Pete Buttigieg going to say anything?
Well, I'll ask you in a minute. Sean
Okay.
Duffy, the secretary, stressed the old equipment in the current air traffic control system, noting how air traffic controllers still use floppy disks.
No way.
In some of their systems.
Are you kidding me?
Still using floppy
disks.
For those of you who don't remember, the little 5 1/4-inch Mylar disks is what used to contain the operating system and the different programs that you ran on your computer. He said, we shop on eBay to replace parts to fix our equipment in a system that keeps you safe, keeps our families safe. And he said that's 100% unacceptable. I'll tell you, this didn't just pop up during the Trump administration. This was around during the Biden administration, during the Trump administration before that, and for the administrations before that, Obama included, and probably Bush. I mean, I remember John McCain fighting around some of the air traffic control stuff when he was still alive and still in the U.S. Senate. This has been an issue that's been ongoing for such a long time. How are we not improving that system?
Because it doesn't get you votes.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to.
Yeah.
They have the money because it's not
because money grows on trees.
Well, then they give it away to whoever the
loudest voices where they get the votes. Yeah.
Yeah. But to take care of something that needs to be taken care of.
Yeah.
Remember when Reagan fired them all?
I do remember that.
He said, if you go on, because they are government employees.
If you go on strike, you're going to get fired. And they did. And he did.
And that helped them.
Yeah.
I mean, it made a line in the sand. And like, when you're a public servant, you're a public servant.
Well, and you don't think about it. All you think about when you're flying is, hey, I'm going to my destination for a wedding, a vacation, to help out family that's in crisis, whatever. You're just going somewhere for some reason. You're focused on that. You're not focused on thinking about the bus that flies in the air. Is it going to be safe getting me here to there? I mean, if they're using floppy disks when we have technology that is just super fast, how is that even anyway?
I didn't think they existed.
It's unconscionable.
Except at the museums.
I would also suggest that once again, it probably highlights the need for better oversight from Congress to the administration, better oversight at the administration, better oversight from Congress to the administration, because members of Congress, they sit over the FAA. They have oversight responsibilities.
Correct.
If they're not asking the questions and raising it up, which I know they do, but not to the point where things have changed.
Government is just not that efficient.
When's the last time you could buy a floppy disk?
I think if you're 30 and under, you don't even know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But government is just not efficient. I'm sorry. and there's another example.
So how do you fix it?
Sadly, nor our
how do you fix it? You hold a J6 event on a Friday night in Berrien County.
Well, you're really parlaying off into different
right?
subjects. Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah. You know anybody who's going to that? Well, you don't have to say.
Yeah, no.
But you know people are going.
Yeah.
Okay. You think it's a good thing?
Well, I don't believe in in violence from protests. You can protest all you want.
Right.
I mean, you'll see them down in Maine and Park, protesting Trump. And they've done that for whatever time.
Yeah, but it's always peaceful.
For the most part. I mean, some people are stupid and walk across the street when they shouldn't. But
how do you really feel?
It's just, come on.
Yeah.
I don't think it was good. People are going to have their views on whether they think in 2020 votes were stolen. You're not going to change that.
Yeah.
People who believe it, believe it. Same ones who believed in the 16 that the Russians influenced the election.
Right.
Same, just different narratives.
Right.
Trying to storm a Capitol, I don't think is right, period.
Yeah, I agree with you.
No different than I thought when George Floyd issue happened, people burned down businesses.
Yeah, it's the wrong thing.
It's the same principle.
Yeah.
You do not destroy other people's property. You want to protest and disagree, you have a right.
Yeah.
But the second you step off and do things like that, I don't care what side you are politically, you lose my respect.
Yeah. And I shed tears literally the day that I saw that happening, because I know the people in that building, I know the people who protect that building, who they put themselves between people who run into that building trying to kill members of Congress. And they put themselves in the way to protect democracy.
Right.
And on January 6, 2021, what that was not an exercise in democracy.
No, and I felt bad for the businesses in Minneapolis that got burned, people's lives. It's the same
during the George Floyd protests.
You know what? You can't be on one side and say it's okay and the other side criticize.
Yeah.
Because they're one and the same, in my opinion.
Yeah.
One and the same. I am not going to change someone's view on if they thought the 2016 election was stolen. I'm not going to change someone's view if they thought 2020 was stolen. They have their views. That's just the way it is. That's life.
Yeah.
But when you cross over and start damaging people's property, you lose credibility with me, regardless if I agree with you or not.
Now, localizing it, I think one of the issues I would ask, and we're certainly open to having this more on this discussion from civil voices. I would ask, why is this important to continue to bring that forward and couch it under the auspices of freedom fighters and bring them into the Berrien County GOP? I think it's a larger question of, does the Berrien County GOP truly represent the majority of Republican voices in Berrien County? I want to ask you to answer that.
Yeah, because I don't have an answer, because
I would suggest probably not.
Well, but there's a process to elect. I was chair of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
And you either get the votes or you don't. And,
those who are active and turn out and vote,
right.
There you go.
That, to me, that's
what it is.
That's how it works. And it's a fair process. I've been through it. I've seen it. And doesn't mean you agree with them on everything.
Yeah.
But as a party, they have the right to do that. No different than Democrats would have a right to do whatever they feel is appropriate.
Yeah.
It's just, for me personally, I'm not going to support somebody who burns a business down or tries to run into the Capitol building.
There you go.
That's just me personally.
We'll leave it at that. It's 7:33. This was not on the script.
No, but it's
going
to be talked about.
It's going to be talked about. Okay. All right. More coming up in just a minute. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. We'll talk about the FEMA administrator in just a moment. They got fired.
Ooh,
yeah,
we'll fire somebody else.
We'll talk about that in a few minutes right here on the WSJM Morning Show.
Would you call free checking that?
Boy, oh boy, there you go. Sorry, I had to light a powder keg.
I think it was more than fair conversation.
All right, good. Thank you.
I don't like when people, I go back to the Rodney King issue. You may not like the verb, it doesn't give you a right to destroy property.
Boy, that was something else. Remember that?
I do remember
the
that.
Los Angeles riots.
Same time of the Blossom Parade, they considered, do we go forward or not with
really? That was a discussion.
But it started that in the 60s with Detroit, and look how it devastated this city.
Detroit, Washington D.C.,
Chicago.
You saw Watts, the riots in Watts. My mom was there. Her and her sister.
Really?
Yeah, they were. I can't remember what she said they were doing, but she said her and her sister were in that area, and then all of a sudden things started getting heated because they weren't there for a protest. They were there just being young kids.
Well, and I was chair of the Board of Commissioners when Benton Harbor had theirs.
Oh, okay.
And that was a long week.
Yeah, I bet.
And it was very interesting.
Yeah.
Some interesting stories come out of that.
Okay. All right. Well, we've got 7:35 on the clock. It's Friday, May 9th. Bill says he's going to mow his lawn tomorrow.
Well, and it's even a bigger day because it's Amy's birthday.
Does he really? Is that what that means, Bill? That you're going to mow your lawn tomorrow? Or does that mean you're going to mow as far as race? You're going to go. Wah. I think he means race. Anyway, what are you looking at?
I'm gonna mow the yard too.
I think it means he's going to clean up at the race. He's going to
mow down his opponents.
He's going to mow down his opponents. That's what I think. That's what I think he's meaning.
Now we're talking.
Let's see. Exclusive content.
I should get our sport rankings.
Exclusive content on the WSJM morning show. Well, we'll give you the FEMA one first. The Cameron Hamilton, who had been acting administrator of the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA, was fired yesterday, a day after telling Congress the agency should not be disbanded, which puts him at odds with President Trump's suggestions that FEMA be downsized or dissolved. The change at the top of the agency that coordinates federal disaster relief comes a few weeks before the start of hurricane season. That starts on June 1. Cameron Hamilton is no longer the senior official performing the duties of administrator, said Julie Moline, the acting chief of staff, in an email to employees on Thursday. According to sources familiar with the situation, Hamilton was called to the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem's office at 10:30 yesterday morning. He returned to the FEMA office a short time later and told staff he had been fired. I guess if you make comments before Congress when you're in that role that go directly contrary to what the president has directed the agency to do, you probably are not going to hold your job.
And FEMA does not have a great track record.
I mean, I again, as with all of these administration moves, I think more communication, more awareness of exactly what the plan is to fill the gap of what the mission should be carried out would be well received. 7:37 WSJM Morning Show. We'll be right back.
With gains ranging from around 0.6% to 1% on trade deal optimism. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:37, it's the WSJM Morning Show. Just looking at temperatures outside right now. 36 degrees and mostly sunny in Benton Harbor, 38 already in St. Joseph, 36 in South Haven. It's funny to me that we were talking about the 30s right now, and we're supposed to get up to 80 degrees, inland anyway, by Monday. 80 degrees. That's a 50-degree swing.
But not in downtown St. Joe or
it's going to be a little cooler.
Or Benton Harbor.
Well, Benton Harbor might. I mean,
Stevensville.
It stays warmer here.
A little bit.
Are you just naming random communities now?
Along the lake. South Haven.
Bridgman. Yeah.
Sawyer, New Buffalo.
New Buffalo.
What else? Saugatuck. Holland.
Just keep going. Keep going.
Muskegon.
Manistee.
Traverse City.
Yeah, there you go.
Petoskey, where we were yesterday.
Milwaukee. Yeah. Although that's not in Michigan. Chicago, that's a good one. Yeah. That's another one along the lake. It's so mostly sunny skies today. A high around 67. It'll be a little bit cooler, probably in the 50s by the lake. Tonight's forecast: clear skies, a low around 40. Light winds out of the north. We have a frost advisory in effect until 10 a.m. for Berrien, Cass, and St. Joseph counties. We're warming up now, obviously, so I think we're fine. But we didn't see that come in until late yesterday. So we'll keep an eye on that, especially if you're in the agricultural industry, as I'm sure you are, what frost is going to do, because we are going to keep the clear skies and the cooler temperatures in the overnights. Saturday's forecast, mostly sunny. Sunday, mostly sunny. Monday, mostly sunny. And we're going to get up to a high somewhere around mid-70s, maybe the 80-degree mark by Monday. Again, inland, it'll be cooler by the lake. Tuesday's forecast, partly cloudy and a chance of showers and a high around 78 degrees. Tigers beat the Colorado Rockies in both games of their doubleheader yesterday. Tigers beat them 10-2 in the first game, 11-1 in the second game. They're back home tonight to host the Texas Rangers. First pitch is set for 6:40 p.m. About 6:15, you can hear the WSJM pregame show for the Detroit Tigers because we are your official Detroit Tigers baseball station.
Best team in the American League right now.
I would say best team ever. Detroit Tigers.
Are you a Tigers fan? No, you're
I do. I am.
Fan.
I'm a Tigers fan now because I live in Michigan.
I thought you were a Mariners fan.
I was a Mariners fan when I lived in Seattle.
So you're not anymore?
Well, I like watching them. I have an affinity for them.
Sure.
I was back when Ken Griffey Jr. was belting out the home run series. I mean, that was fantastic when he was doing the consecutive home runs for games. That was a lot of fun. I was at the King Dome before the roof started caving in. They eventually demolished it, and now they've got two stadiums. One of them has the retractable roof. I don't know if both of them do or not. I haven't been there in a while.
I don't think football does.
Yeah, probably just closed for the football.
I remember their first season, 1977.
Yeah, Star Wars.
Yeah,
may the force be with you.
They had a real fork.
No, it was a trident.
Oh, okay,
it was a trident.
It looked like a fork to me.
And I think I still have one of those hats.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Somewhere in my collection.
They were bad. Like most expansion teams are.
No wonder my grandparents got us tickets to the Mariners all the time. They were cheap.
After the first game, I'm sure they were.
That's and as longtime listeners to the show will know, that is where I met Governor Dixie Lee Ray, because my brother and I were exploring the Kingdom because we were bored with the game. We got into an elevator we didn't know anything about, and we're standing right there next to us was Governor Dixie Lee Ray with the Washington State Troopers. So
nice.
Yeah, that was fun. Good introduction to politics. 7:41.
Is that the end of the story?
That's the end of the story. 7:41. I know you wanted more. It's the WSJM Morning Show. We've got more news coming up in just a moment.
ABC News, I'm Sherry Preston. Pope Leo XIV celebrating his first Mass as the new Pope, while back home in the United States, where then Cardinal Robert Prevost was born. Other priests say they're elated that he was the one chosen.
I think it's beginning to sink in more and more, the joyful shock that we received yesterday, that not only that we had a Pope, but also the first American Pope.
Father Enrique Salvo at St. Patrick's Cathedral in New York City. The new Pope grew up in Chicago, went to Villanova, and spent much of his adult life ministering to those in Peru and across South America. Russia is holding a massive military parade marking 80 years since the defeat of Nazi Germany. Among the leaders invited by Vladimir Putin to attend, China's Xi Jinping and the president of Brazil. India and Pakistan have been exchanging heavy volleys of shells across the frontier in the disputed Kashmir region. At least 5 civilians have been killed. This is ABC News.
WSJM News Now. Team coverage from the WSJM Newsroom on News Talk Sports 94.9 WSJM.
It's 7:42. It's the WSJM Morning Show. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg. And sleeping over there is Bret Witkowski. Hey, Bret. Wake up.
I'm tired.
Wake up.
I am tired.
You had long evenings, long days.
45 hours just the last 3 days.
Jeez. Yeah. Get a hold of your schedule, man.
Well, I do control it.
All right. Were you on a public meeting last night?
Yeah. I mean, pretty much. Yeah, that was. I'm just trying to think. Part of it was driving back.
Oh, yeah.
But
because you're a slow driver.
I drive the speed limit.
Good for you.
I go about, when it's 55, I'm about 57, 58, etc.
I thought you said you drove the speed limit.
Well,
all right, some of the news that we'll have coming up.
That's close enough.
At 8 o'clock this morning. Many local voices sharing heartfelt congratulations for the selection of a new pope, and many pointing out that Pope Leo XIV's connections are strong in West Michigan. We'll talk about his connections to West Michigan. That's coming up at 8 o'clock. Also, the Berrien County Democratic Party says it's disappointed that the Berrien County GOP is going to welcome 2 January 6 defendants and 2 men charged in the plot to kidnap Governor Gretchen Whitmer to Stevensville. That event is happening tonight. We'll talk about that. And the Berrien County Sheriff's Department is clarifying its role in helping U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement and their arrests of undocumented immigrants in our area. We'll talk about that. That's coming up at 8 o'clock this morning from the WSJM newsroom. Right now, we've got sports that's coming up after a look at state news. It's the WSJM Morning Show.
The Michigan News.
Okay. A lot of news this week.
Busy day.
Well, it's been a busy week. So did you see the The moment when the smoke, the white smoke, came out of the Sistine Chapel.
No, I did not see that.
I saw the replay. We were in. I felt like I was in perpetual meetings yesterday for management stuff around here, and but then I saw the news alert come in that the white smoke was seen, and then the next news alert was basically people running through the streets of Italy and into the Vatican to go here and see who it was, because the white smoke emanates, and it's usually anywhere from a half hour to an hour until people know who has been selected. I would just love to be a fly on the wall for the discussions between those votes. That'd be fascinating.
Do they
release the minutes? No. They don't.
What I'm curious is, like, do they stand up and say, hey, I'd like to be Pope, or does somebody speak on their behalf? Do they go in groups of, break up your group of 5?
Have you seen the movie Conclave?
No, I have not.
You should watch the movie Conclave, because I think it, as far as I know, and far as the reviews that I read and some of the documents around it, is that it gives somewhat of a picture of kind of what the modern conclave looks like. And part of it is you've got a lot of different individuals, some who know each other very well, some who don't, and their positions become known of, are you a moderate? Are you a conservative? Are you a progressive as far as the church doctrine is concerned? And where lie your votes? Who do you want to support? And then eventually, to get to 2/3, you've got to create, as you mentioned, these coalitions, and you've got to. And so, whether they actually engage in any kind of speeches or debate, I don't know. Be fascinating to understand.
Yeah, I mean, did the new Pope go get a group, or did a group go to him?
Right. Don't know.
So, like in a Lutheran system, you don't go get a group; people ask you.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and because it's frowned upon to, let's say, campaign for it.
Okay.
Which I get and sometimes don't get, but I would just be curious how that all plays out. Throughout the centuries, no one really knows how it plays out.
Yeah.
Some
secret.
do. Yeah, but they don't talk.
The people
about
in the room,
right?
Yeah.
But they don't talk about
yeah.
it. You don't see a book on New York Times list talking about it.
Are you suggesting we go to Rome and investigate?
I would like to know how it works.
Okay. All right.
I like that stuff.
My sons were pretty excited about it. Stuart and I talked about it a little bit yesterday. Stuart, who watches the show.
Good for Stuart.
And
whoa, isn't he supposed to be in school?
Well, yeah. I mean, he is constantly doing something, whether it's schoolwork or work, because he has a job.
Okay.
And he's going to be heading out to California this summer when he's not in school for that job. Oh yeah. He's a go-getter. Anyway, so we were talking about it. He was pretty excited.
Who's he staying with in California? Isn't he in high school?
No, Stuart is in college. He's finishing up college next year.
Who's the one in high school?
Samuel.
Okay.
There's Samuel, there's Sawyer, and there's Stuart.
Kept with the S's. Like we kept with the E's.
Oh, really? Who do you have?
Elizabeth and Emily.
Oh, that's only 2. Try a third.
Ezra.
Better than Ezra. I've got one better than Ezra.
What was that?
No, that's the name of a music group. Better than Ezra.
No one's heard of it. When Amy was due with Elizabeth was.
John says, howdy, everyone. Hey, John.
Howdy.
Good to see you.
She was just a few hours short of being premature. We did not have a boy's name picked out. We were going through the phone book.
You were going through the phone book?
We had not figured out a boy's name. We had figured out a girl's name, but had not figured out a boy's
Speaking of floppy disks, when's the last time you touched a phone book?
Probably at my mother-in-law's house. I think she still has one.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be out of date.
Oh, of course it is. But if you remember, it was a big deal when it would show up at your house.
Oh, yeah. Right on the front porch.
Yeah.
And then then there was that period of time. I don't know if you felt this way. There was that period of time where the phone books became like, nobody uses phone books anymore, and it's just another thing to recycle.
I liked it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
How big was yours?
Well, the Benton Harbor St. Joe one was decent.
Okay. So about an inch thick, maybe a little less.
Then you had Baroda Stevensville, which wasn't very big.
Yeah.
And then you have Coloma Waterville. Niles was probably a decent size. But I would say in Berrien County, the Benton Harbor St. Joe one was probably the biggest at the time.
Ours was similar size. It was pretty thin. And then I went to Seattle, and it was like the mammoth. The mammoth.
I used to like going to hotels and then, look up the phone book and see how many other Witkowskis there were, because it's not a very common name.
That's fascinating.
So that was always fun.
Yeah. What does Witkowski mean? Do you know? Have you ever looked it up?
No, it means that we were poor and left what is now modern day Poland. At that point was German.
Oh, okay.
Because there was no Poland at the point. It was before World War I.
But you don't know what your name means.
Mm-mm.
I could probably look it up in about 2 seconds.
Yeah, I'd be curious what it means.
Not that curious.
Never thought about it.
Really?
No.
Okay.
And shout out to Amy, her birthday today.
Happy birthday,
Yep,
Amy.
So people can wish her happy birthday.
According to rootsweb.com, the name Witkowski was based upon Witko, a Polish pet form of the Latin personal name Vitus, derived from vito, meaning life. The name Witkowski is very common. There were at least 42,173 Witkowskis in Poland as of 1990.
Really? I need to go visit them.
You should. You probably are related.
To some, yeah.
Right here on Ancestry.com, Witkowski family history. Witkowski surname meaning. Habitational name for someone from any of the places in Poland called Witkowo, Witko, or Witkowisk. I'm butchering the names.
Really,
I am. I'm sorry.
no one from Poland's listening, so you're okay. That's interesting. That many.
Yeah, hang on. Let's see. You can see the Witkowski families moved over time. Family name found in the USA, the UK, Scotland. Looks like Illinois, New York, a couple other places where you have good congregations of Witkowskis.
Yeah, my grandfather came to Baltimore.
Michigan has some, Georgia, Louisiana, and Colorado.
Yep.
Okay, we got to get back on the air. It's the WSJM Morning Show, genealogy session.
Mostly sunny skies today. Winds will stay light as well out of the northeast, and high temperatures will be in the middle 60s. Clear skies tonight would drop all the way down to 40 for the overnight low. And then for Saturday, mostly sunny skies. We'll see high temperatures away from Lake Michigan in the low 70s. Right along the lakeshore will be in the upper 50s. We'll be back up into the 70s on Sunday. I'm meteorologist Carrie Peugeot.
The Morning Show with Ken and Friends on 94.9 WSJM.
7:52 WSJM Morning Show continues. We'll get the Moody on the Market update here in just a moment, but we promised you some information on the FEMA administrator. We did put this on the video live stream already because you get exclusive content. Sometimes you get it early there. And by the way, if you're on the video live stream right now, speaking to you, would you mind doing a little favor for us? Do some sort of engagement with the live stream, meaning like it, follow it, subscribe, or you can, just the thumbs up is great, or you can do the thumbs down, whatever you want to do, or a happy face or a heart, whatever. Just engage with it because that helps it get a little bit more traction on the social medias so other people become aware that it's out there.
Did not know that.
Yes. So if you do that, the same thing with your own, or you can share it. Sharing is a great way to get the word out.
Right.
So do that for us if you wouldn't mind. Let's see. FEMA administrator fired. Cameron Hamilton, acting administrator of the Federal Emergency Management Agency. That's who we go to when we need money for like ice storms and stuff like that. We write to FEMA, hurricanes and that sort, which we don't get a lot of hurricanes in Michigan. But this person, Cameron Hamilton, was fired on Thursday, a day after telling Congress the agency should not be disbanded. That is directly contradicting what President Donald Trump has suggested as far as FEMA being downsized or dissolved. You know, when an administrator of an agency goes in front of a Senate committee, there are going to be questions that are loaded. Mm-hmm. And so somebody probably asked the question, do you agree that the agency should be disbanded? Cameron probably said, no, absolutely not. And then he was called into Kristi Noem's office the following day and fired at about 10:30 a.m. Speaking to the House Appropriations Committee, so this one was the House, on Wednesday, Hamilton told lawmakers that FEMA should not be disbanded. He says, I do not believe it's in the best interest of the American people to eliminate the Federal Emergency Management Agency. And the president Kristi Noem said the president has indicated he wants to eliminate FEMA as it exists today and to have states have more control over their own emergency management response. Hopefully that comes with money. Because, I mean, that's basically what you need when you get a hold of FEMA is you need additional resources that either you don't have or you hadn't planned for or no one could possibly be ready for, in the wake of a disaster. So anyway, so there was that. Let's see. We'll come back. We'll do the Moody on the Market update. That's coming up next.
We're watching over you. IMS Insurance Management Service.
Okay. You did a testimonial for Insurance Management Service.
Is that being played now?
Yeah. Can't get away from the darn thing.
Well, they really did help me out.
And they let you say your name.
It was a bad day.
It was a good day because you survived and you weren't hurt.
Yeah, that part is true. That is absolutely amazing to this day.
Yeah, so there. Witkowski.
But they helped. They did a really good job.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, got to get rid of that. Do that, and then we'll come back and do our Moody on the Market update, and then we'll have to finish up the show. Not the show, but the live stream. And thanks again for being on the video live stream. We do appreciate you. If there's ever a time when you want to make a suggestion for a guest on the video live stream, I've got Community Voices on every day from 7 to 8 o'clock.
How far in advance do you book out on that?
Depends. I mean, I've booked out a month in advance for some people. Other people, if I have somebody drop off, I'll get them the day before.
Like, are you set for next week then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. And sometimes I tell you who it is, and sometimes I don't.
Well, that part's fine. I was just curious how far you went out.
And in this case, I can tell you're curious of who's on next week. I'm going to look at it right now.
Who is?
And I'm not going to tell you, but I am going to look at it. Let's see.
You should know. You should prep it.
No, it's already prepped.
No, I mean, let people.
Oh, promo it?
Yeah.
Sometimes. Yeah, so not that one. Oh, you know what? Next week, we're going to have somebody who bid at an auction. I think it was a silent auction for a fundraiser, a charitable fundraiser.
Mm-hmm.
They bid on the opportunity to come and be guest co-host.
Oh, cool.
And this person won, Nancy Witkowski. So she's going to be joining me on one of the days next week.
Cool. I think that was the Michigan Lutheran fundraiser.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think you're right. So she was the winner.
So are you paying them to come on, or what's the deal?
What are you talking about? All right, we'll be right back. No, so that'll be fun next week.
Yeah.
And it was funny because I called her up and I said, "Hey, congratulations. Thank you for the charitable donation to Michigan Lutheran."
Mm-hmm.
And what we'd like to do is schedule the time. And she's like, "Well, I mean, I really don't have anything to say." I said, "Well, let's just talk a little bit." And she started giving me all kinds of fascinating stories about herself and her life here and everything else. Yeah, so
you'll fill that hour.
So yeah, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, you figure with breaks and stuff.
I mean, she might be a better fill-in host than you.
Doesn't take much.
It's the WSJM morning show.
Standard's pretty low.
Back in just a moment.
9 WSJM.
It's the WSJM morning show. Good morning. I'm Ken Lundberg here with Bret Witkowski, who we love. Thank you for doing what you do, Bret.
Hey, I can laugh at myself.
Moody on the Market update. It's brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. Just want to bring a quick attention to a surgical technologist at Corewell Health South in St. Joseph has been honored by Michigan Works with an Impact Award for her completion of the new Certified Surgical Technologist Apprenticeship Program. Monica Woods has worked for Corewell. I think it's Monica Woods has worked for Corewell. No, it is.
That's a different.
What are you laughing at?
Monica, Monica are two different words.
It's spelled Moniica. So there you go. Has worked for Corewell for about 20 years, helping doctors and patients as they prepare for surgery. She tells us she and coworkers always wanted to get certified, but that was difficult. That is until Corewell Health, Michigan Works, and Lake Michigan College all teamed up to create this new apprenticeship program.
Good for them.
Say congratulations.
Congratulations.
Absolutely. So that's the Moody on the Market update. That whole article, I'm sorry we don't have more time for it right now, but that whole article is currently posted at moodyonthemarket.com. And the Moody on the Market update is brought to you by Insurance Management Service. Call IMS today. They are your local auto owners insurance agency in St. Joseph and in Niles. We've got to wrap up the video live stream. We've got to get this in real quick. So let's see. Can we play this? Yeah, let's play this one.
From the Pat Moody Studios, this is WSJM FM Benton Harbor, St. Joseph, a product of Midwest Family Marketing and Media. Proudly serving our community. The Morning Show with Ken Lundberg on WSJM.
See how we did that?
Beautiful.
Okay, we'll be back
like
next.
An orchestra.
ABC News.
From ABC News. I'm Sherry Preston. Reaction coming in a day after Leo the 4th.